Welcome back to Movie Draft House. I'm just Mark. It's their 5-minute review. In today's review, we're going to be talking about the Peacock original television mini. It's billed as a miniseries. Ted. And Ted is based on the titular character from the Ted films starring Mark Wahlberg and Seth MacFarlane. But it is a prequel. And it once again stars Seth MacFarlane as Ted and Max Burkholder as a young John who was Mark Wahlberg in the films. But Max Burkholder is probably more famous for. I'm trying to look. Actually, he looks familiar, but I don't recognize anything I've seen him in. He's a voice actor though. Young voice actor. But anyways, Alana Ubach, Scott Grimes, and Georgia Wingham round out John's family. Alana and Scott play John's mom and dad, Susan and Maddie. And Georgia plays cousin Blair, who lives with them. And I watched the first 2 episodes. And so I think I got a pretty good feel for what the show is. And I'm excited to say that it's live action Family Guy. I mean, it is, the episodes are kind of one-offs, right? We don't really get introduced to Ted, and I'm thankful for that. The show just drops Ted and his family into our lives, and he has to go to school. And then they get into some shenanigans, but I think the real reason to watch here is the dialogue from Seth MacFarlane. He is super foul mouthed. That hasn't changed from the movies. But what's changed a little bit is Max Burkholder is not as charming as Mark Wahlberg, and but it's I laughed out loud several times in the first episode. It's pretty hilarious. And there's like a lot of like, oh my God, did he just say that? A lot of jokes about race and sex and religion and just you name it, and the show goes in on it. But it's pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie, it's 7 episodes, so I'm certainly gonna stick around. But it's also like there's no overarching big, story to tell here. They're just, as far as I can tell, they're just one-off episodes about, and the film takes place in the early 90s in Boston or Massachusetts, somewhere close to Boston. The accent here is South. A South Boston accent. So, I really enjoyed it. I recommend it. It's a really good. And nobody asked for it, right? Nobody asked for Ted the series. I mean, I could have gone for another Ted with Mark Wahlberg, or and then I read something that they tried to get Mark Wahlberg to do the television series, but his schedule just didn't permit it, and Seth MacFarlane and Universal wanted to get this off the ground, so they decided to do a prequel, and so it's fun. It's fun. You can throw it on the background. You don't really have to watch it. You just listen to it, is because the dialogue is where this film is makes its money. But it's very reminiscent of Family Guy. I get a lot of just Family Guy characters from Ted's family in this show, and so I recommend it. So yeah, anyways, hit the subscribe button when it pops up so you don't see any future content here on the podcast. And you want to follow the podcast on your favorite social media platforms. We're at Movie Draft House because we're on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, right here on YouTube. Give us a like, follow, subscribe. We're doing big things. And don't forget, the podcast releases weekly every Thursday, wherever you get your podcasts from. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're everywhere. So don't miss out. And we'll catch you next time.
Dear Future Ted, it's me, 1993 Ted. If you're reading this, it means we got a new series on the most successful streaming platform ever. Yeah, we got a new series.